Hello, beautiful angels. And this call will be about gratitude and what is being unveiled about gratitude in this world as we are ascending. So, we are going through an ascension process, and the ascension process is a very big cosmic process. It has very little to do with us as individuals, it is a planetary process. And it is very much a process through which all the worlds in the system of the worlds that we belong to, including the suns, the many suns, all of them will be lifted up through this huge evolutionary leap. And we are one of the worlds that will be lifted up and is being lifted up. That is such a huge cosmic event that is not limited to just this planet, let alone to humanity. It is so much more about the entire planet. Now, when I first saw this, it was in 2006 when my guides revealed this cosmic magnitude of what Ascension will be. And so we are participating in it. And really, we are riding on this planet. And it's always nice to do it consciously instead of having no idea. And then, of course, people who have no idea, that also means they cannot participate. And let's say that something is needed, they don't know what's needed on a personal level or a collective level. So it's nice to know what's needed of us. What's needed of us is just like this song said, to keep our hearts wide open with every breath. And so we are the army, and maybe if you don't like this military word, but we are the army of the mother. We are her children. And she specifically sent here for this mission, for this part of this ascension process, those who can be very loving. She knew that she needed the portals of these pure hearts to move through. And so what is really needed in this ascension process? To keep that heart pure, open, loving, knowing that it is a portal for the rainbow light, for the mother to move through. Now, I chose this image. This is an image from the Thoth tarot cards, which I really love, because the artist, Lady Frida, created such incredible mystical story within each card. And it is so much hidden esoteric meaning in each card. Every detail in this piece of art has a story to tell. And to me, this is the Ascension piece, this card. It is often called art, but also it's called temperance. But to me, this truly is actually inner alchemy. And inner alchemy has always been about reuniting strange elements that don't seem to be easily reunited, such as the element of fire and the element of water. And so in inner alchemy, we combine the element of the mother, which is water, Ma, with the element of the father, which always is fire. And together they create unity of transformation. Now, this card alone tells us the story of the light body. It tells us the story of the rainbow body. It tells us the story of awakened Kundalini. It tells us the story of initiation and baptism. Baptism by water, which is the baptism by the Holy Spirit of water, which is the mother, as well as the baptism by fire, which is the baptism by the Spirit, the Father. This is so incredible. When both of these forces are balanced, which is why we would call it art, we would call it temperance, when they are balanced within our not only physical body, but also in our subtle bodies, the rainbow body is born. The light body is born. The Kundalini is awakened. The being has been resurrected by baptism of the mother, the water, and baptism by fire, the Father. Now, how does it work in our physical body as well as subtle bodies? The base of the spine is where we originate the flow. Now, as the flow moves, it first moves through the heat. So that's why people who experience Kundalini awakening, and actually I think a lot of us spontaneously can experience the rising of the energy, we say that's hot. In sexuality, we would say, we misused obviously sexuality and we didn't know what really it was for, but it was also about talking about heat. We would call someone, he's hot. And what does it mean? That was the heat that was rising through the spine. So of course, in sexual terms, it would become, what we call feeling turned on and sexual. But actually, if that energy was allowed to move, and it would move through the entire system, through all the spinal chakras, the portals, then it would come out of the crown being really our connection to the divine self, and it would spray out, even though it came from heat, it came from fire at the base of the spine like a volcano. And if it was allowed to move, it would come spraying out of the crown like a fountain. So then it created the toroidal field, the rainbow body. And so the rainbow body was created by these two seemingly not easily combined elements of fire and water. And that is the next resurrection state of the light body. So this is quite amazing. Why is this important? Well, first of all, our physical bodies and our subtle bodies really were in the fallen, dormant state. They were also disabled energetically. And so it would take so much work to enable ourselves energetically. Of course, very few people manage to do this, let alone if you think about sexuality, how it stood in the way of this type of transformation internally. Because, I always say it tickled the genitals a little too much instead of allowing it to go into the crown. So again, that was mastery. But now we are all becoming masters of internal and external energy. Of course, it has to start with internal energy. To be a being on fire, to be the one who can ignite themselves from within. This is the internal spirit burning bright within our hearts now. At the same time, running these energies into the crown and allowing them to spray like a fountain. This is actually what everybody experiences when their light body activates. And it's an incredibly powerful experience. Nothing about this is subtle, and nothing about this can be missed or, just say, oh, I think I activated my light body. No, this is all huge. It's a transformation of everything within us. So again, you can think of Divine Mother as the mother of magnetism and Divine Father as the energy of electricity. And so that's why when the yogis would transmit energy, they would transmit electromagnetic energy into the system. That's why our nervous system has to change and is changing. And that's why every cell in our body is now changing to be able to actually live and exist. Not only live because we are eternal, but exist in this state of completion, which means complete forces within, no longer having to get somewhere, but then living from the fullness of who we are. Obviously, you and me know exactly what it's like to live in a world where we constantly think we need to work on something because we don't feel complete. But now we will be in a world where we will be complete because we always have been complete without actually realizing it. Because, there was a big illusion taking place in this world. So from a state of completeness, we will simply keep expanding into more. Not because we are bad, not because we have to fix something, but because we are complete and ever expanding. And that's the new you, that's the new us here, the divine self. So now we have these structures within us that are working through us. This is really exciting. This is such a new world that unless we look within and look at this incredible transformation, we might even, still see the world as is, as if nothing has changed. But everything we see on the outside is actually the old world. And so the old world has to dissolve because the structures within us have dissolved. So the new world, the world is always a mirror. It always is. She is the mother who mirrors everything to us. And not only does she mirror, she's a tricky girl, Divine Mother. She magnifies. So she's a magnifying mirror. So now anything we want to see on the outside, we first have to be able to see it within us. And so this new world has been born within us. For millions of years, there was cosmic evil that also infiltrated the earth. And so everything we know, including like the teachings of Yogananda knew that in his lifetime, ascension is not going to happen. He knew it. And so he was teaching everything he could that would be appropriate for that civilization. And he put it into writing because he was tired of teaching. He didn't want to teach anymore. He just wanted to at least write it down for us now. So for us now, for example, we have the second coming of Christ. This is the time of the second coming of Christ. And the second coming of Christ is actually us being resurrected from the old body into our light body. These processes can be happening, in waves. So I've seen waves where some people receive this initiation already, when they're ready energetically. Nobody is making any judgment about anyone. It simply is by the wonderful law of magnetism. When our energy is ready to receive these high, intense energies, they simply come. There is no one who's judging anyone. It just simply happens. And so you might be having all these different states of expanded consciousness. You might even experience quite incredible, radical experiences where you receive this divine electricity coming into all your cells, into your spine. So just, we surrender. So how do we then move forward into this new world that was just birthed at the level of energy? There was an amazing breakthrough that happened just a few weeks ago, and it was the breakthrough in that cosmic evil. And so I would say we can easily say the battle between angels and demons has ended, and also an integration took place at the level of cosmos, where the separation between two forces, which we used to call pure and impure, now it all has been integrated into one. So there is oneness now. That's why we will be feeling the consciousness of oneness. And it would be just the old game if people want to participate in the old game, which is us versus them. Now there is an invitation to move beyond all of it and to represent Divine Mother and to represent her through this alchemy within us that creates the rainbow body. And that is being whole. When we are whole, we know that we create from within. Whatever is on the outside, we must recognize it as simply. And, we always try to be indifferent, but at the same time to care. That's a very strange combination, being indifferent and caring at the same time. It's like having one foot in this world and one foot in the divine self and operating as those two aspects of us at the same time. And so the divine self is the solution to all things that even don't exist in this world and everything that exists in the world. The divine self now is the focus. To get to know the divine self, who is the bringer of all solutions, and it's inexhaustible. The divine self was never a woman, was never a man. The divine self is never born, will never die. The divine self has never ever identified with any of our experiences. It always remained one with what we would call God, one with Source. It was never changing just because this canvas here was changing. So everything here was just changeable. It's a changeable world by design, and it will continue to be so. Our world is changeable by design. And so the changes can be from wonderful to more wonderful to even more wonderful. From joy to more joy to even more joy. from harmony to even more harmony. Those are wonderful changes that now will be possible for us. So the old game still needs to play out because it was put into motion. All energy that was brought into motion needs to come to its own solution. And the only solution for all energy is ultimately return through love. You can imagine it as if everything originated in the heart, and then it goes on a long journey, but the journey is a circle, and the circle originates in the heart. And now let's say that there is like a clock, and so the energy is moving from the heart in the circle like a clock, and it goes out into the world and it becomes something, but then it wants to return back into the heart. And it can only return as love. So let's say that the heart is closed. That means the energy going out is not pure love. So let's say a person is actually transmitting judgment, and the judgment is coming out of the heart center, which is like a projector, and it's being projected through the closed heart, or even partially closed, out as judgment. And it says, I don't like this. I don't like this person. I don't like this situation. But that's the energy coming out of us. And so it then comes back and it's knocking on our energy field and saying, please let me in. But first you have to love me free. Love is liberation of energy. So it is reasonable now to actually transmute all into love. And we can only do it when we move beyond the illusion of pointing at the screen or the mirror and saying something about it. When we say something about the mirror, we are actually wasting our life force. And it's almost like a movie director who was fully in charge of a movie. So let's say it was a he, and he was fully in charge of the movie. Now the movie is playing on the screen, and he's saying, oh no, I don't like this. And I really don't like this character. And I really don't like this situation in the movie. That's a waste of life force. Because as a movie director that we are so in charge that we can change how the movie is playing out. And we do it the most efficiently and effectively by becoming all love from within. It's the Tao Te Ching, it's Yogananda, it's Bhagavad Gita, it's all this wisdom that we've always had, and of course, the teachings of Christianity. And all of it actually is coming together, and so much more. I don't know all the teachings in this world, but it all is actually using love as a dissolving agent. And that means, again, if you imagine the kind of circle coming out of your heart, then what goes out has to come back. And as it goes out, it is projected onto the screen of this reality. And then it wants to come back because there's always the movement back in. And it can only come back in if it is love. So then if we have resistance, we are resisting the illusion that we created, whether it is collectively or individually. There is always that question that all the mystics will ask you when they want to know where you're at in life. And the question is, do you have any resistance? Or they will ask, do you still experience any suffering? And they mean suffering because we believe that this canvas has power over us. So this is the end of this relationship. This is what was called temptation. Temptation was very misunderstood. Fundamentally, temptation meant, do we believe that the reflection in the mirror or the screen in the movie theater has power over us? And maybe you would agree with me, I would say we probably all believed at some point that the mirror or the screen have power over us. And so maybe we would go into worry. Maybe we would even go into hating a situation, or at least really disliking a situation. Maybe feeling discomfort because of the situation. Because by design, the dark forces wanted us to be dissatisfied, but also to be satisfied. They gave us both sides of the coin, but both were a trap. If we saw a screen with all the beautiful, everything we ever wanted, then we would say, oh, I like this reality. I love it. This reality is amazing. But if the images on the screen changed, and now there was only lack of everything that we ever wanted, now we would say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like my life. And so they kept us trapped in the likes and the dislikes, and especially in our belief that the reality we see on the outside is something to be liked or disliked. That was actually temptation. Temptation to react to the screen and to have a mental reaction about it and emotional reaction. If we had a mental and emotional reaction to the screen, that simply means we really succumbed to the illusion and its temptation. That's why the stories of the Buddha and, Christ and the typical stories were always, the naked girls in front of the Buddha or Jesus and the power and the money and all of it. But that was just, one way to tell us anything on the outside actually should never have more power over us than our internal connection with the divine self. The divine self is the only true self, and it cannot be self-realized through thinking about it. It's an energetic transformation. When the divine self flows in, it is truly flowing in through our multidimensional spine, but it has a valve that needs to open, and it is in the sacred heart. And that's why it's a combination of love, which is ultimate. It's a decision. It's like, you know what? I know I'm facing just an illusion. It was made in the past, and it was probably made by me and you as a result of a lot of stuff. Could be unconsciousness, could be also the forces that were in charge of this world. And so what we are looking at is just the result of that past. Now, if I want something else, I need to first find my eternal self from within, and meditation will do it. Chanting Om in your third eye will do it. Breathing through the spine will do it. But opening the heart will absolutely open that valve, and it will just flow in, because there's the laws of physics, and these are kind of the spiritual laws of physics. If you open it, it will flow in, because now is the time for the divine self to flow into all of us. And this is the most miraculous, actually, embodiment since the fall. This embodiment now, because so much has been actually done for us by the divine self. So now is a new world, and we will talk about the new world. The new world has a wonderful operating system. Now, I've traveled through time and space, and I know that you have too. And I just want to mention that when I visited the New Earth several times, one time I was able to see the purpose and the functioning of our heart centers, and how they will function on the New Earth, and how they already do on the New Earth. And what was so strikingly different from this world was that the heart was the center of our operating system, and that the mind was in collaboration with the heart, but not like here where we are constantly thinking. The new design for the human being that we are now embodying is being heart-centered, and the intelligence of the heart will be making decisions, but in collaboration with the higher mind, no longer the lower human mind. Now that means an absolute state of love. State, not an emotion, no hormones, none of that, I fell in love for 2 years and when the hormones evaporate, it's all gone. Now it's going to be a state that only the mystics uncovered through meditation, and it is the state of divine love that we have always been and now are again. That also means maybe in this world we will still see the trickery, which is, lack of oneness. But when we go deep into the heart that we are becoming now, we will only feel oneness with all life. Without the judgment, without the separation, our consciousness will operate differently through the heart. Now, this was the original design for human beings before the fall. Before the fall, we were designed to be an open system that is fully open, but individualized. So individualized by the field that we call a body in this world. Now, because the system was completely open, it was constantly receiving intelligence from cosmic nature. And in our world, that also, of course, includes planetary nature. In this open system, the idea was that since we are beings of love, Divine Mother will be moving through us as magnetism, Divine Father will be moving through us as electricity, and we will be in those perfect electromagnetic fields which will be sustaining us. And not only sustaining us physically, but also, of course, in our divinity. So we would constantly be informed. There would be no amnesia, because amnesia was not part of that original design, of course. Amnesia was the result of the fall of the planetary grid and planetary axis. So, as perfect beings, we didn't have the experience of existing on the earth and creating, so we came here to experience ourselves and to co-create, of course, with cosmic consciousness, with planetary consciousness. Because we were beings that were fully open, fully in love, and all we knew was how to be in that flow. This is what the Tao is called, the Tao. The Tao is the flow of the mother, the great cosmic mother nature, through a being who is completely impartial, because partiality didn't exist. This is what the Tao is all about. So when the Tao was still, I would call it even our original state of being, then we were constantly moved by these electromagnetic forces into some kind of inspired action of expansion. Since the system didn't have flaws, it means the outcomes were also not flawed. They could be maybe improved upon at all times, but not because of a flaw. So flaw would be like what we today call suffering and pain and disease. So those didn't exist. And so as this energy was moving through us, you would say that we were the perfect channels for Divine Mother and Divine Father God into this world. And so we were expressing only that which we call harmony and peace and oneness and beauty and consciousness, but always more of it. So expansion is more of. This was the original design, that the heart would always be grateful. Grateful for this miracle of life, grateful for this amazing participation. And gratitude was our state of being. No worship was needed, but the love within us was gratitude too. So we were grateful and we were in love with all life. And that was our natural state of being. Now, because Divine Mother is a mirror and she's a magnifying mirror, let's say we would be creating something and it would all came out of love and always out of gratitude, always out of consciousness of oneness. So everything that we created was beautiful, but she would magnify it to make it even more beautiful. And this was her original design. We were always on the right path because all paths were right. There was no path that would lead us astray as long as the heart was fully open and it was in love with life, and as long as it was feeling this gratitude and then all the things we call consciousness. So there was no going astray. All of the going astray only happened after the fall. Because then it was actually very difficult to be on the right path. The Hopi people call it the narrow, straight path. And to me, it was very narrow. It was like walking on the edge of a sword. That narrow was the path of consciousness. And so we are returning to all these paths, being the paths of love and consciousness and goodwill, all unique, but all right without having the wrong path. Because only the separation between the good and evil then led to the good and evil being a path, an option, a choice. But this choice has now energetically ceased to exist. And so the changes we will see in this world will reflect that too. We will come into oneness. We will come into planetary consciousness. We will come into goodwill for all, thriving for all, caring for all, one planetary family together. And that's why eventually this world will feel like one planetary family with all the incredible unique expressions, but working always together as one. It's pretty incredible. So the original design was so wonderful that as long as we lived in that gratitude and love, Divine Mother was constantly giving us more love, more blessings. She was always blessing us. It was like moving from one blessing to the next blessing, and miracles were not even called miracles. It was simply the nature of this reality. The nature of this reality was constant miracles. And so we can now step into this. I recommend every day following certain superhuman activations for yourself. We are now, once again, in a world where we have incredible opportunities, because now really freedom is going to be restored in this world. And I mean fundamental energy of freedom that we haven't known for millions of years. The wheel of karma was really artificial, and so that took away a lot of freedom. Our ancestral DNA took away a lot of freedom. Our culture took away a lot of freedom, and all of it was by design. So now how do we operate in this new world, and how do we actually every day activate these superhuman qualities within us? Number one, cosmic Mother Nature has to be our priority. So we will become, once again, beings deeply connected to the environment. And so we will no longer tolerate dirty air, dirty waters, dirty soil. There will be movements that will restore the elements. So spending time in nature will be part of our thriving. Having schools with nature schools where children get to observe nature, learn from nature, and us too as adults, of course, returning to natural intelligence. So having time in nature is essential. Then connecting to our breath. We knew that from our, mystical practices, that breath is really important. And so learning some kind of conscious breathing techniques. The one that I recommend, for example, is the ocean breath. Learning how to move energy through ocean breath, through these channels that exist within us. Then using sound to create vibrations, and it could be chanting, it could be mantras, it could be something that singing to that is not your typical speaking. So every day making some time for making sounds, ideally sounds that have very strong potential to create a change in this world, such as chanting Om and some mantras. Then movement will be essential to every day, no longer just now and again doing some exercise, but also not considering it to be exercise. So much more like in Qigong. And to me, Qigong originated by us being in nature and feeling energy. And when we felt the energy, we moved where the energy moved. And if we found any stagnation, then we moved through that stagnation so that we again have a flow. Flow is really the key. So flow is really important to our thriving. Yes, Qigong in nature, flowing, and it could be spontaneous flow with some movement. Even in Qigong you have the healing sounds. So sound, breath, movement in nature every day. Why skip a day when we were designed to be this way, and now again have this amazing opportunity to feel the superhuman qualities within us? Then of course there is the moment for meditation, but meditation now also can be transformed, and we can do the spiral within us where we connect with the base of our spine and we allow the spiraling energy to rise through the spine, and it rises above our head into the higher chakras that we have and then come back down. So that's one way to meditate. The goal of meditation has to be a direct perception of the divine self. And that means, like Yogananda always said, meditation must transform us. And every time we connect with our divine self, every single time, we are transformed. And so even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it doesn't have to be anything like it used to be. It used to be you had to meditate many lifetimes, and even that didn't guarantee contact with the divine self. But now it's just a few minutes a day. Divine self, just connecting with the divine self. And then now is the time to start using the mind every day to visualize and imagine. Important. That is actually the quality of our higher divine mind. You see, the lower human mind was actually also part of the fallen design. So to stop the lower human mind is what meditation would do. But then we can engage with the higher mind, the divine mind. And the divine mind is always creating, it's visualizing, it's imagining, and it's bringing us the sense of unlimited possibilities. Whatever you want to imagine, it's really wonderful to play with the architecture that your mind gives rise to. So you see, we now have this new system. The heart is open and it functions as a projector of our loving inspiration. That means beautiful solutions coming from the divine mind. Just so that you know the difference between the lower human mind and the divine mind. The divine mind doesn't see problems. It is only filled with solutions. The lower human mind sees problems, thinks about problems, and then maybe even tries to find a solution to a problem by simply digging in the same level of unconsciousness. But the divine mind is the solution to all things, and so when we connect with the divine mind, we are constantly connected to solutions. So gratitude. Now, let's say in the morning, you get yourself going with breath, with sound, with movement, with meditation, with visualization, and then you will feel gratitude. Gratitude to be existing. And this gratitude will then be constantly delivering miracles throughout the day. You will feel impeccable synchronicities, and you will know that you are constantly on the right path of the flow of the mother. And that is the flow of synchronicities, blessings, wonderful, just miracles blessing you all the time, as long as the heart is filled with that love and gratitude. And now and again, of course, it can happen in this world that we shut down or we just feel a little numb because, the world still has situations that are the result of the past. And so if you feel like your heart is shutting down or you're feeling a little bit of numbness in the heart space, you know exactly what to do. You just close your eyes, you move a little bit, you breathe a little bit, you visualize something wonderful. And then you can also go into meditation and just, connecting with Divine Mother, connecting with Divine Father, whatever, you find ignites you. It can be connecting with your guru. It can be connecting with nature, and get yourself ignited again. So again, to be the being on fire. And so today we will close with a video. And this video is a video from the World Congress on Illumination. And it is called Gratitude that Divine Mother and Divine Father have for you. And they want to say thank you to you. So receive this gratitude. I'm gonna open the video.
Precious heart, elation and infinite gratitude are pouring forth from the heart of our Father, Mother, God, and the entire company of heaven. This gift from on high is in response to the selfless service that you and I and the rest of awakening humanity have been rendering to Mother Earth and all life abiding upon her for myriad lifetimes. During this cosmic moment, our godparents are asking all of us to open our hearts so that we can tangibly feel the elation and infinite gratitude flowing into our heart flames from the heavenly realms. We have willingly volunteered to serve as instruments of God during this critical phase of Mother Earth's ascension process. That means that we are the open door that no one can shut. In this eternal moment of now, through the unified efforts of heaven and earth, we will co-create an activity of light that will awaken, activate, and elevate to brand new levels of consciousness humanity's creative faculties of thought and feeling, and our physical senses of sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, intuition, and imagination. Once this activity of light is God victoriously accomplished, awakening humanity will be able to perceive through our creative faculties and our physical senses the wondrous patterns and archetypes for Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. These unfathomable, heart-based, fifth-dimensional crystalline solar patterns are pulsating in the realms of cause, awaiting the global shift of consciousness that we are being called to co-create at this time. Once this shift occurs, humanity en masse will be able to breathe these awesome patterns into the world of form on the highest frequencies of our holy breath. In order for us to grasp the magnitude of just what this means, The company of heaven wants us to realize that these patterns consist of brand new spectrums of light, divine qualities, geometric patterns, images, colors, musical tones, and fragrances beyond anything the sons and daughters of God embodied on earth have ever imagined. The system of worlds in which Mother Earth belongs has now ascended into the full embrace of our grand central sun. This seemingly miraculous accomplishment has opened brand new portals of light that have given humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth access to levels of divine intervention and collaboration from the heavenly realms beyond anything we have previously been able to safely experience at a vibrational level. Since the beginning of this year, 2024, the beings of light from our grand central sun have been guiding us step by step through various activities of light that were designed to strengthen our earthly bodies and to raise the frequency of prana and life force within our holy breath. This divine intervention was a critical factor in preparing each of us for the mission at hand. Our Father, Mother God have revealed that the unprecedented preparation has succeeded beyond the greatest expectations of heaven. We are being told that people everywhere are beginning to witness in myriad ways the collaboration we are now receiving from on high. The infinite love and gratitude we are being blessed with from our Father, Mother God, and the company of heaven this sacred and holy night is preparing all of awakening humanity for the next phase of our individual and collective divine plans in Mother Earth's ascension process. This is intensifying our ability to increase the light of God in every corner of this planet. The success of this essential facet of Earth's ascension process has paved the way for an awakening within the hearts and minds of the masses of humanity that has never before been possible. Through the myriad shifts that have taken place since Mother Earth's ascension into the full embrace of our grand central sun, the Earth is now abiding in higher celestial and cosmic coordinates than we have previously experienced. This new position in the universe is allowing humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth to receive powerful, transfiguring solar light codes through the portals of all of the suns in Earth's lineage. This includes the solar light codes flowing through the portals of our physical sun, our central sun, our great central sun, our great central sun, and the system of our grand central sun. Due to the greatly amplified frequencies of divine light, now pulsating within every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of life on Earth. Our I Am presence is now communicating with us through our intuitive inner knowing in far more obvious ways than we have experienced since our fall from grace eons ago. Now, during this cosmic moment, you and I and the rest of awakening humanity are being given the opportunity to co-create with the beings of light from our grand central sun, a divine matrix that will assist the masses of humanity to hear the inner guidance from their I Am presence and to comprehend in brand new ways the profound truth of what it means to be the open door that no one can shut. If you have the heart call to serve your sisters and brothers in the family of humanity in this important way, please join with me and light workers from around the world who have also selflessly volunteered to be instruments of God during this unparalleled facet of Mother Earth's unfolding divine plan. And we begin. I am my I Am presence, and I am one with the I Am presence of every man, woman, and child on earth. What I invoke for myself this day, I invoke on behalf of every son and daughter of God, in perfect alignment with each one's divine plan and the highest good for all concerned. On the holy breath, all of humanity's I Am presences now merge into one luminous being of light that is cradling Mother Earth and all life evolving upon her within the divinity of our unified heart flames. I take another deep, conscious breath, and instantly I realize that humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth are all breathing in unison with me. We are one conscious, holy breath. As I continue breathing in and out deeply, the integration of my I Am presence is being intensified within my earthly bodies. Every electron, every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies, and all of the spaces in between the atoms and molecules of my bodies are receiving and assimilating this new, multidimensional and multifaceted divine light from my I Am presence. As I assimilate this gift of divine light, I begin to remember the truth about me. I came into this world with a very specific purpose. I came to fulfill a mission. I came to contribute to the salvation and the ascension of this sweet earth and all life evolving upon her. I came to love all life free. I now know that I am part of God, and the fullness of my Father, Mother, God abides in me. In the heart and mind of God, every single person is valuable and critically important to the balance and order of the universe. Without me, God would not be complete. Without me, the universe would lose its equilibrium. All that I am called to do, I will now do with enthusiasm and happiness, for I realize that nothing is too insignificant. I am always embraced in my Father, Mother, God's love. Never again will there be a sense of futility in my life. I am overflowing with gratitude for the opportunity to be on earth at this time. I am also thankful to be where I am right now, serving all who come my way with love, compassion, forgiveness, and joy. Now, with the amplified integration of my I Am presence, I am able to hear my intuitive inner guidance in new ways. I am very aware that as a son or daughter of God, I am powerful beyond my knowing. This is true because my Father, Mother, God, and I are one. I now know that all that my godparents have is my divine birthright. I realize that with the divine intervention of my I Am presence, I clearly have the ability to liberate my Father, Mother, God's life in every physical and chemical interaction within my earthly bodies. This light is now healing and recalibrating all of the energy bonds within atoms and between atoms to the vibrational frequency of God's infinite physical perfection. My Father, Mother, God's eternal light pulsates with a divine wisdom that contains everything necessary to set straight the orbit, spin, and electronic charge of every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of life on Earth. All of the energy bonds within the atomic realm are now being accelerated in vibration toward the frequency of Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. Through the luminous being of light, that is formed by humanity's collective I Am presences. Every person on earth is now receiving and assimilating the divine wisdom and sacred knowledge encoded within their own individual I Am presence and their newly activated 12 fifth-dimensional crystalline solar strands of DNA. As this occurs, every person's I Am presence liberates the heart-based patterns encoded within the divine wisdom and the sacred knowledge in our fifth-dimensional DNA. As these heart-based patterns flood the earth, they penetrate into every interaction within humanity and all of the energy bonds therein. These interactions include the relationships of all people, all organizations, all races, all religions, and all nations. All of these interactions are now being liberated into the harmony of a higher order of being, thus greatly expanding the influence of humanity's I Am presences on Earth. Now, through my fully integrated I Am presence and my 12 strands of fifth-dimensional DNA, I am able to clearly receive the divine promptings, ideas, and concepts from my Father, Mother God. I know now, through all levels of consciousness, that I am a living, light-filled temple of invincible perfection, expressing my true state of enlightened consciousness with every thought, feeling, word, and action I express. I am the open door that no one can shut. I am a being of light, now reflecting God's comprehensive divine love, oneness, unity, reverence for all life, vibrant health, infinite abundance, eternal peace, illumined truth, and abounding joy. I am here and now, my I Am presence tangibly manifesting on earth. As this profound truth resonates in my heart and mind, my physical reality is being transfigured into the love-based patterns of perfection associated with Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. And so it is. Through my omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I Am, all that is. I now gently return my consciousness to the room, and I become aware of my earthly bodies as I continue breathing in and out slowly and deeply. With infinite gratitude and eternal peace, I allow the amplified fifth dimensional crystalline solar light flowing through my I Am presence to be fully assimilated at a cellular level within my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. And I revel in the bliss of this moment.